Senator McGrath.
Thank you, Mr Acting Deputy President. Well, it's another day, so it's another matter of public importance and another display of rank hypocrisy from the Australian Labor Party. Because if anyone knows anything in this place about broken promises, it'll be our friends in the Labor Party. Yeah, so let's talk about Anna Bligh, Premier of Queensland, 2009 state election. The Labor Party and Premier Bligh said they wouldn't have asset sales. What did they do? Got re-elected and they had asset sales. Let's talk about Kevin Rudd. Let's talk about the former Prime Minister. He's going to be an economic conservative. He was anything but an economic conservative. He got into power and he destroyed this country economically. So don't come to this place with your fake outrage and your faux just angriness about broken promises when you are the experts, senators of the Labor Party, in broken promises. And we've got the big daddy, the big mama in the room, and that is the carbon tax. 2010, Julie Gillard said, I'll read the quote out for you. You may have forgotten this quote. There will be no carbon tax under the government I lead. Got out there, said that, made that promise about the carbon tax.
Order. Pause the clock. Senator McGrath, resume your seat. Senators on my left, before I call you Senator Polly, I'll just say, senators on my left, you're being very noisy. It's very hard to hear Senator McGrath. But Senator Polly.
Yes, Mr Acting Deputy President, I raise a point of order on relevance. We're discussing the cuts to the ABC and the SBS.
Senator Polly,
we're not talking having
there is no point of order. Senator McGrath is being relevant. Senator McGrath.
Don't like broken promises, do you? You don't like the truth coming out and being seared on you, because that's what you did to the Australian people with your carbon tax.
Through the chair, Senator McGrath. Through the chair.
Sorry, Mr Acting Deputy President. So this false pretence of the carbon tax in 2010, the world's largest carbon tax. Let's have a discussion about that and what it did to Australian families. That $9 billion carbon tax. But no, the Labor Party, through you, Mr Acting Deputy President, don't want to talk about that. You turned your back on Australian families with that carbon tax. Yes, you did. You don't like it very much, do you at all? And if that's not bad enough, we're delivering on our mandate. Tony Abbott and the Prime Minister and the coalition.
Senator Billick.
I'm happy
Senator
to
Billick.
The Prime Minister and the coalition are delivering on their mandate, but more importantly, they're delivering on cleaning up the mess that you left behind. Because you don't want to talk about the carbon tax, but let's talk about the debt you left behind. Because the reason we're having this discussion about the ABC and the SBS today, Mr Acting Deputy President, is this country has a huge debt. Do you know how much the interest bill is each month? It's $1 billion. But if you remember the Labor Party, it's like, I don't really care about that. I don't really care about interest. I don't really care about debt. You don't care about what your children and grandchildren, our children and grandchildren, are going to have to do to pay off that debt. Well, the buck stops here in terms of everyone tightening their belts. And the ABC and the SBS are not some deity that we put up on a pedestal and go, oh, let's all pray to these institutions. They are also part of the Australian fabric, and they also must tighten their belt. So don't blame this party here, these parties on this side of the chamber, for what's happening to the ABC and the SBS. Have a good look in the mirror in terms of how you left this country economically, in terms of how the Labor Party and the Greens left this country with the debt. The huge debt that we're slowly going to pay off. Like we did when we won office in 1996, we paid off the debt. You got elected in 2007 and then racked it all up again on the government credit card. So let's just talk about the efficiency study. Let's talk about what the ABC and the SBS can do, these billion-dollar organisations, what they can do to tighten their belts in terms of delivering better services with less money. They can do that. Let's look what Sky News does. Let's look what Sky News do in terms of the delivery of their services. But somehow we've got to protect the sacred cow of the ABC and the SBS that for some reason it's excluded from efficiency dividends. Well, didn't the last Labor government but one put an efficiency dividend on the ABC? Didn't Ralph Willis do that when he was Finance Minister? So what's the difference now? There's no difference now. But what we've got to do here is pure politics from Labor and the Greens in relation to the ABC and the SBS. And it's disappointing that some ABC employees, who I think should know better, are actually tweeting in relation to this. And I would hope that the ABC employees would be aware of their own editorial policies and their own policies in relation to Twitter. And I do have a tweet here I'd like to read out from Aaron Hollett, who is an editor of the South Asia Bureau. And he says, 1 in 10 jobs to go at your ABC. Thanks, Tony. I can't say the word. It begins with F and rhymes with, ducker or mucker or something like that. And I say to the Managing Director of the ABC, I hope that he's going to ensure that his Editor-in-Chief, that his employees follow the policies of the ABC.
Order. Senator McGrath, your time has expired.